Hi everyone, I'm just coming with a quick video to show you guys how I make fish stew, or you can also call it sapino. I know in New Orleans they have a dish called bouillabaisse. So it takes a few ingredients, and if you guys want to see more from me, please like, comment, and subscribe. And also follow me on Instagram at InStewardFashion, and also follow my business page at Dirty Denim Shop. So let's go. So this dish, it takes a few ingredients. I'm not using fish today. I'm just using what I have left over in my freezer. So I'm going to add stewed tomatoes. I have some leftover calamari. I'm probably going to add half a bag of this shrimp. These mussels that's in tomato and garlic sauce, which is really good. It adds more flavor to the dish. And then I have this seafood mix. All these ingredients came from Aldi. And then I have my chicken broth. I'm going to add a little bit of that. Probably half this bottle of clam juice, some garlic, a cup of wine, olive oil, and Creole seasoning that I love, some thyme, and some Italian seasoning, and a little bit of tomato paste. Oh, one more thing. I almost forgot the onion, so you need an onion. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get this onion diced up, and I am going to place it in the pan with olive oil to get it cooking. And after that, I'll go ahead and add the seafood and the rest of the ingredients. But I'm using my Cuisinart knife that I mentioned in my last video that I got for Christmas. And if you guys are interested in these knife sets, I showed in my other video, but very beautiful. They cut really well. You can visit my Amazon storefront. The link is down in the description. And also, if you are in need of ingredients to fill your pantry, or you're interested in making this recipe, I do have a list with all my pantry items available in my Amazon storefront as well. This bottle of all that's left. May have to go ahead and get some more. I'm just gonna add the onion to the olive oil. And then I'm just gonna let the onion sweat out a bit. Special. Cut it down a little bit. So these are gonna probably cook about 3 or 4 minutes until they're softened, translucent. And then all the seafood I showed you is going to be added frozen because it's going to add to the stew or soup. So there's no need to like pre-defrost. It's going to cook right in the broth. It's going to be really good. Okay, so the tomatoes have been added to the pot. I also added some parsley and garlic, and that's cooking down right now. And for the tomatoes, I used a stewed tomato and I hand crushed them. Or you can like use a spatula or a spoon to kind of crush them around if you don't want to use your hands. So I'm gonna let that cook down a little bit more, and I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. And then you wanna make sure well, it's gonna be 2 heaping spoons of tomato paste. You wanna make sure that you let the tomato paste cook a little bit to get that raw taste out of it. So I'm gonna let this go just a little bit longer, and I'll come back and I'll add the mixture of chicken broth and clam juice. And if you can't find clam juice, you could just use pure chicken broth. It tastes really good that way. I've made it that way. Or if you only find clam juice, that'll work as well. But I got this from Walmart, and it's kind of hidden. It's like near the soups and whatnot, but it's like at the very top shelf, and it's kind of like in the back, so you may get stuck finding this. And there's also a fish broth, if you could find that too. Fish broth, clam juice, or chicken broth, or a combination of those 3 will work. About 1.5 cups of those different broths or stocks. So I'm gonna just show you guys what it's looking like so far without anything added to it yet. It's looking really good, smells really good. I have not added this other seasoning just yet. I want to make sure I get everything in there and season it at the end so I won't over season the pot. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the chicken broth. So like I said, it's going to be 1 cup of chicken broth. And then it's going to be a 1/2 cup of the clam juice. This is a 1/4 cup, so I'm going to use 2. And then I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of wine. This is what I have on hand. As long as it's like a white wine, it'll work. This is I'm gonna bring this up to a boil a little bit, let this simmer, and then I'll add the seafood. So it's been simmering away so far, and now I'm gonna taste the broth to see how much salt it needs. It's good already, but I'm gonna add the pepper. So a couple of grains to your liking. Thyme is a good staple to have. It really wakes up the flavor in a lot of foods. I add this to chicken, like I'm doing with the stew, but I add a few sprinkles of thyme. Then I'm gonna add a little bit, like a few shakes of Italian seasoning. A couple shakes of Creole seasoning. And then this is an absolute must-have Himalayan sea salt. It does wake up the flavor in a lot of foods. So I strongly recommend getting some Himalayan sea salt. So I'm gonna do 2 pinches to start. And I'm gonna stir it around a little bit. For me, I like it a little spicy, so I'm gonna add a few dashes of hot sauce. Not too much. And I'm gonna let this cook a little bit more, then the seafood will be added. So now it's time for the good part. I'm going to add the leftover seafood or seafood I've acquired over the past week to the pot. You can add whatever you want. You can have fish, shrimp, combination of whatever seafood that you have on hand. So I have this leftover bag of calamari. It has like maybe a handful, maybe a 1/2 cup. It's going to go right in the pot. Frozen. Everything's going in frozen because it's going to add to the flavor of the soup, and also it'll be easier to cook that way. The flavor can really get in the seafood, and you know, why defrost or anything like that? Save yourself some time. So I'm gonna add this whole bag of seafood mix. It's from Aldi. I believe this bag is like $6. I've made a marinara pasta with this. Really good for like a dish that's not too heavy. So this has shrimp, calamari, bay scallops, and mussels. It's gonna go right in. I'm gonna stir that around. Yeah, I'm gonna add like maybe just a handful of shrimp to it. And then I'm gonna add the mussels. For the shrimp, it does have the tail on, and and Robert doesn't like food that comes in a dish that you can't eat, so I'm gonna peel those tails off before I serve it to him. So I'm gonna add those in last so you guys won't see that stuff. But the mussels are in this tomato garlic sauce, also from Aldi. I believe this is like $3, and these are really good by themselves as a good snack. Claire. So I'm gonna add the mussels in, and they already have like a sauce to it. It's gonna add more flavor to the pot as well. And the key with mussels, if you guys didn't know, if they don't open, don't eat them, discard them. So after this cooks down, check the seasoning to make sure it's to your liking. The mussels, if they don't open, discard them. And after that, it's time to eat. This dish, I would say if I was doing it in real time, it would be 15 minutes because I would just be throwing things in a pot and just stirring and simmering and seasoning organically. So this is an easy dish. I usually make it for lunch with a salad. So yeah, I'll show you guys the finished results when the dish is complete. So the soup is all done. I'm just gonna plate it up. I have my ladle here and I'm gonna add a big scoop of the seafood. And then make sure you pick up some of that broth too. For Robert and I do add red pepper flake to the end, but if my girls are eating it, I don't add it to the dish because I do like spicy. And what you can do, you serve it with some crusty bread to sop up the broth. It's really good. French bread would be wonderful with this, but I'm just gonna use some toast. I'm just using some toast. I toasted it really good. It's nice and buttered, and you just dip it with your food. So the dish is, it takes about 15 minutes to make. You can use whatever seafood you have on hand, and serve it up with salad to make it a fuller meal and some bread, and you're good to go. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll show you guys in a second how Parker and Blair and Robert like the soup. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and if you want the recipe, please let me know and I'll be happy to send it to you. Stay tuned to see their reaction to this soup. Thanks for watching.
100%.
Do you like it?
Yes. It's really good.
What you want?
More too.
Hilarious. Told you guys that he doesn't like
Oh,
stuff in his soup that he can't eat. Hilarious. He picked all the shells out. I mean, at least I peeled the shrimp. Jeesh. I tried.